Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the Jamie Hughes News. My name as always is Jamie Hughes and today I'm going to sing you a little song. I'm going to sing you a song that's going to take you back to your childhood when times were simpler. Are you ready? Join in if you know the words. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sunny days sweeping the clouds away. I'm on my way to where the air is sweet. Can you tell me how to file a lawsuit, please? So we are talking about Sesame Street today, and more importantly, their dislike of the new Melissa McCarthy film, The Happy Time Murders, as they are filing a lawsuit against The Happy Time Murders and STX Entertainment because they believe it almost defiles the Sesame Street name. Now, in the marketing material for this movie, a lot of the posters, I think it's in the trailer as well, the tagline for this film is "No Sesame, All Street." Obviously, you can see where the connection comes in there. So Sesame Street, and more specifically Sesame Workshop, are not happy about this. And as I said, they are filing a lawsuit to have, it's almost a cease and desist. I don't think it is a cease and desist, but it's very similar to, they want all kind of reference of Sesame Street removed from the Happy Time Murders marketing materials, and they have also sued for damages, but there is no official figure on how much they are asking for. A representative from Sesame Workshop has said, Sesame has demanded that defendants simply drop the references to Sesame Street from the Happy Time marketing materials, a relatively small burden compared to the devastating and irreparable injury defendants are causing. The promotion of the Happy Time Murders should succeed or fail on its own merit, not on a cynical, unlawful attempt to deceive and confuse the public in associating it with the most celebrated children's program in history. You'd think this case would be pretty open and shut. Sesame Workshop file a lawsuit, STX go, okay, we'll remove kind of all references of Sesame Street from our marketing materials and we'll move on with this affair. But oh no, this is where the twist comes, because the Jim Henson Company are very much behind this film. Now obviously the Jim Henson Company and Jim Henson were very influential in the setup of Sesame Street, and they are very much behind the production of this movie, so much so in fact that the son of Jim Henson, Brian Henson, is the director of the Happy Time Murders. So obviously they have had a lot of involvement in this film and also have a lot of involvement in Sesame Street. So it kind of boils down to intellectual property, I guess, and all of that sort of jazz. So it does become quite confusing and bogged down. And STX have kind of used that in their response, because it seems very nonchalant, the response from STX. I don't think they are going to be removing any kind of reference to Sesame Street from their marketing materials. I'll read you the quote now from the spokesperson from STX. STX loved the idea of working closely with Brian Henson and the Jim Henson Company to tell the untold story of the action lives of Henson's puppets while they're not performing in front of children. Happy Time Murders is a happy result of collaboration, and we're incredibly pleased with the early reactions to the film and how well the trailer has been received by its intended audience. Whilst we're disappointed that Sesame Street does not share in the fun, we are confident in our legal position. We look forward to introducing adult moviegoers to our adorably unapologetic characters this summer. So the big line there is that they're disappointed that Sesame Street do not share their same values. At no point do they say they are going to try and settle this. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this story develops and how far we actually go before a settlement or any sort of deal is agreed. So my question to you guys is whose side are you on in this story? Do you side with Sesame Street and agree with them that yes, it is a defamation of the Sesame Street name? They are unlawfully using the Sesame Street name to sell their product. They are using Sesame Street to sell this film, and that could be confusing to movie-going audiences, as parents could take their children to go and see this film. I don't think that can happen. I'm pretty sure this movie is going to be rated R, but you know, if parents did go and take their kids to see this film, and there is a lot of adult themes, and you know, there's killing and murder and gun violence in this movie, then it's going to have a huge backlash on Sesame Street because their name has been being used in the marketing materials. Or do you agree with STX and the Happy Time Murders, where they have said, well, we kind of have the right to use Sesame Street's name in this movie because Jim Henson, the Jim Henson Company, and Brian Henson are so heavily involved in this film. It boils down to their intellectual property, and also it's pretty obvious that this movie is an adult-themed movie. It's made for adult moviegoers, so there should be a kind of bit of common sense between, you know, people that this is an adult movie and you shouldn't take your kids to go and see it. I'm really interested to see what you guys think of this. Let me know your thoughts on this, as always, down in those comments below. And if you did enjoy this video and you want to keep up to date with all the latest movie news and reviews, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you in the very next episode of the Jamie Hughes News. Ta-ra!